Hey guys, took a sick day today. You know what? Actually, I'm grateful for some of these days when I'm sick because I get some more time to spend with the Lord. And it was a wonderful time that I got to spend with today with the Lord, just reading Acts chapter 12. And I just wanted to share with you guys maybe something I learned from that. Here's the main thing I learned today is that God, our God, is a God that gives more than we have ever asked for. Has that ever happened to you? When you've asked something of someone and you got more than you deserved, more than you could even imagine what he did for you. And that's exactly what happened in Acts chapter 12 to Peter. It reminded me of all the times that God is so good to me and he takes care of me and he does more than I ask of him. I don't know, just simple stuff like you guys know, since I was 12 I was asking for a girlfriend, and I've been praying all the time for that, and when God gave me my wife, Dina, man, that's way more than I was ever asking for. It's the best thing. It was amazing. Sorry, I'm not trying to suck up or anything, I'm just being honest. So back to Acts chapter 12, now that's important. Peter was in prison, put there by Herod, and it wasn't looking good for him. The teachers of the law and the leaders of the Jerusalem sect of people, the Jews, they wanted to kill him. And they didn't know how to do that because they didn't want the people to revolt on them. So it was very convenient when Herod put him in prison. And he's like, hey, yeah, sweet, oh yeah, we're totally for that, to Herod. But they didn't have to take responsibility if Peter was going to die in front of the people. So Peter's sitting in prison, and the next day he was supposed to be going in front of Herod and really most likely be judged and executed. We don't know 100% exactly what would happen, but check this out. So he's in the middle of the night, sitting in prison. On his right side, there is one person. On the left side, there's another person. These are guards in the prison cell with him. Then right at the door, there's another two guards, and then there's another set of guards on their way out from the prison. In the middle of the night, Peter's sleeping, and he gets nudged. He's like, hey, wake up, dude. And there it is, the angel of the Lord, sitting with him in the middle of the prison. And he thought it was a vision. So he gets up. The guy is telling him, okay, tie your sandals, put on a cloak, let's go. And all these guys are sleeping, all the guards, and he starts walking out of the prison with this guy. He goes past these two guards sitting right beside him. He walks out the door of his cell. Then he continues through one more garrison and then all the way out. And when he's at the door of the jail unit, the door just opens, the whole gate just opens, and he walks out and is in the middle of the street in the middle of the night. Then he says he comes to his senses because he thinks it's a vision. He finally realizes, he's like, what just happened? I'm free. Middle of the night. That's it. How awesome is that? God doing something more than you could even expect or ask for. Now, why did God do that? So I'm not sure if you knew though, that while Peter was in the jail cell, thinking about, hey, how am I going to die tomorrow, or getting executed or something. In the middle of the night, there was, at this lady's house, her name was Mary, the mother of John Mark. They were there gathering for a prayer meeting, and they were all praying for Peter. God, I don't know, please deliver Peter. I don't know what's going on, but please help him out. Please help him get out of jail. They were praying throughout the night. So Peter decides to go. He didn't know that, but Peter was like, I'm going to go to Mary and knock on her door. I need to hide. Something's going on. So in the middle of the night, Peter is outside the gates of the jail, the jail house, the prison, and he runs to Mary's house and starts knocking on the door. Pop, pop, pop. And then there's this servant girl, Rhoda, who goes to the door and she's like, who is it? And Peter's like, dude, it's Peter. Hey, open up. It's the middle of the night, And they're all in there praying and having the little prayer meeting. And Rhoda is so excited that she heard Peter's voice, runs back inside, doesn't open the door, and tells everybody, he's like, dude, it's Peter. Peter's here. And they're all like, you're crazy, girl. You're crazy. Impossible. We're praying for Peter to be liberated. He's in prison. What are you talking about? She's like, dude, it's Peter. He's at the door. They're like, nah, it can't be. So they kind of look and they get close to the door. They hear his voice probably. They're thinking, wow, it's probably Peter's spirit. That's it. He's dead. They killed him. It's his angel, you know? That's it. We're done. Oh, man, that sucks. But you know what? They have the courage and they open the door. And there he is. He's standing in flesh in front of them in the middle of the night. God answering their prayers. God doing more than they could have even expected. They weren't even ready for God to answer in such a miraculous and awesome way their prayers. Have you ever asked God for something and received way more than what you've expected? Because that's happened to me numerous times in my life. And I can only think, I told you about Dina, I told you about my job. I mean, was working at a gas station. I was applying for any job in the IT field. And God had something special prepared for me. And the job that I have today, it's only because of His grace and gift. I wasn't qualified for it. He's just so awesome. He takes care of His kids. He takes care of His children. Also, about the ministry, I've never asked to become a pastor, a youth pastor. And when He gives, He gives. I just wanted to be like, hey God, I just want to be part of your ministry. I want to get involved there. But He gave more than I could possibly hope for. It is so awesome. It is so awesome. Our God is so good. So I just wanted to encourage you today, and I want you to remember that you just need to ask. You need to sit down and you start praying, because the power of prayer is more than we can think of. It is amazing how many times I see people in our church, in our congregation, and says, well, give me a hand. Oh, but what are you doing? Oh, you're just praying for me. Oh, great, good for you. I mean, just praying for you. I'm praying for you, man. Or girl, whatever. I'm praying for you. What more can you ask than for me to go petition the Creator of the universe that He help you in the situation that you're going through right about now? He might help you through me. I might give you a hand with something. But God is a God that gives more than what we ask of Him. Now, one last point I want to say is that you notice that in the middle of the night, these guys were at a prayer meeting. And I just want to tell you, if there was somebody missing from there because they were busy that day, if there was somebody missing from that prayer meeting because, I don't know, they wanted to go hang out with their friends, or they wanted to go play some games, or they had some work to do or something, they would have missed out on God working, on God answering the prayer in such a miraculous way that very rarely we see this in the pages of Scripture, for God to answer a prayer in such a miraculous way. And they would have missed out. So my lesson that I got from that, and hopefully you will as well, is that you want to be where God's peoples are. Don't make other priorities in your life, okay? So just remember today, God answers our prayers, and He gives us more than we ever ask for or would ever want to ask for. And also, find God's people.